Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. I'm Govinda, CEO founder of Smart Helio. So welcome to our webinar. Let me share my screen. Great. So good afternoon to European friends, very early good morning or still good night for American friends, and good evening and good night to our Asian friends here. So today's webinar is very exciting. We are talking about 358 hours to 3.2 hours, how AI-powered PV diagnostic is revolutionizing this whole process. So before we are waiting for other people, let's have some house rules here. So feel free to type your questions and concerns in the Q&A tab, which is just down, anytime throughout the presentation. So we'll be happy to take those question answers just after our presentation is over. Anything goes wrong, refresh your browser. That's good old days. Rejoin it after that. And if you're interested to find more about our work, our LTEX, please book demo with our team members, which link will be on the chat here. So here's today's agenda. We'll talk about what are the challenges of PV diagnostics, which we have gained over the years. We'll talk about it, how AI-powered one-time diagnostic is helping, how it works actually. We'll have a live demonstration on that how it exactly works with us. And we'll have an opportunity to answer some questions here. So a bit about us. I know most of you know already, but just to tell you again, I like to tell about us, what we are doing. So we are Smart Helio. We are also known as Doctor of Solar Plant, but it's a modern doctor. So it's about that as you go to doctors to prevent any bad disease or bad problems, this is what we do, that we ask what we do. We take care of the solar plants and anything can go bad before that itself, we'll tell people. So Autopilot is a software, that's our software which does this job. It has job of doing fault classification, prediction, and loss quantification. Our aim is simple. We want to empower asset managers to prevent downtime in their assets and optimize energy production. Till now, we have 3 offices in Switzerland, where I'm located right now. We have our colleagues in US and India. Till now, we have under management 6 gigawatts, 100 plus clients across the globe. We have catered 30 plus team members coming from industry, data science, some geeks, some nerds, but a lot of experience we have now. And 20 plus international awards we have got. On the right-hand side, you see we are working with world-class players, whether it's coming from energy, coming from software, coming from research. So we have been very blessed that we have been able to work with very quality players globally. So let me introduce our speakers. It's first me. It's on the left-hand side, the guy with the beard. So I have a degree in PhD in physics and climate change. And on the right-hand side, we have Shankransh. Shankransh, over to you.
Another guy in beard. Hey, everyone. This is Shankransh. I'm the co-founder and the chief operating officer. Background has been solar. That's what I studied. That's what I made my hands dirty with past 15 years. But yeah, initially started out doing EPC and asset management, and now just trying to automate everything that I used to make my hands dirty with. Thank you.
Hey, great to have you again, and really always very excited when you can share all these experiences with our client. But I have something to show you. I don't know what's going on with you here. Why are you so pissed? Why are you so pissed?
So cool that there are fundamental issues and then there are operational issues, right? This is one of the client's plant that I was visiting, and I could see a lot of installation issues. Yeah, a lot of issues that could be either fundamentally eradicated or there could be preemptive measures taken for it. And coming from the EPC world, I know the importance of the quality of installation. Yeah, this side when I was looking at the wire management and all the vegetation growth, that kind of pissed me off. I didn't know you had this picture, but thanks.
Well, I was trying to capture the emotions here because I know that you're a very smiley guy, but it was strange to see you, but not so happy. Well, So before we dig deep, it's a poll time now. We would like to know that what exactly happens, what happens during PV diagnostics, what are the challenges you have? So let's vote, like when you are doing PV diagnostics, like checking about underperformance, what are the challenges you have at this stage? Great, definitely. Oh, that's great, like everything. We have moving. Thanks a lot, guys. Carry on, please. We have around 300 participants. So guys, come on. Let's get it rolling. Thank you. Yes. Still we have few members remaining. Please tell us what you face challenges in. And let me end it here now. Thanks a lot. Majority have voted at this stage, and let's go end and share results. Well, clearly everything is the problem here. So we have lack of quality data, that's one. Second, come closely is a manual analysis. Trust me, I totally agree with you. And of course, the other things are like unknown losses and incorrect benchmarks. So no, thanks a lot for sharing your thought process. Let me just go next. Shankranch, you have served around, I think, 200 plus solar plants this year already, right? And you have talked to like hundreds of clients on that. What were your experiences? What are the challenges of clients this time?
See, we did have an exact number, 218 plans so far, and we have 40 more lined up for end of the year. See, the biggest challenge was data. To not There was a challenge to collect the data. Sometimes even some of the reputed players or established companies for many years, they wouldn't have the basic data. Yeah, data quality was a challenge. I think I would say data was the primary challenge because everyone had a lot of different kind of formats. Yeah, there's a reason why we were able to take all those different formats this year, and we were not able to do it, before. So yeah, the quality of data and understanding different challenges of the data, just to treat the data, Govindan, and this is where I would like to give my 2 cents. Currently, we have more than 50 algorithms that just look at the sanctity of the data, before the data gets processed for fault identification and all of that. So that speaks of, the basic problem with the data itself. The other one I would say, I saw there was either 15 or 19% on the benchmark. We typically get a PV cyst or a SAM report from our clients, and they would like for us to treat that as the benchmark. And I would say 8 out of 10 projects that we do, we identify that that's not the correct benchmark at all. Your benchmark has shifted, but the customer is still sticking to those reports.
No, that's true. Like to summarize on, I know that at our side, we have all these 5 broad challenges, from the data issue to highly manual analysis. Then there are unknown losses always, even if you work hard on that, incorrect benchmark, but also this whole blind intervention. Then obviously people think that, okay, I'm going to send some bunch of people, they'll figure out things. And that is just tough. So they also need some kind of guidelines, like where to look for the problems, right?
Yeah.
So, like when I just see the sheer numbers, like 218, 40, like it's just crazy numbers to serve these many clients with high accuracy and high satisfaction. And I know that the team has spent a lot of time on automating whole process. Like we just bunch of algorithms, AI, now we have even LLMs coming in and all, we are working. So I also want to talk about a few numbers, like what exactly AI-powered diagnostic means. It means, of course, automated data ingestion that came out very clearly. So basically data issues. Then we need data cleaning. We need automated bucketing and quantification of the losses. So this is also very important. Then we need some recommendation. And the 5th point is automated customization of the report here. I know that you you mentioned multiple times we face that the clients come in and then when they see something and they say, oh, can you do this also? I want to do this further analysis. And that's a never ending, like the venture, right? So I feel that this automation has really helped us to be very quickly and serving the client better. So ultimately, this whole AI-powered diagnostic means no to minimal manual intervention, just opposite to the way we work or how the way industry is been working till now. But okay, this is good on paper. Like, can you explain like how does it work actually?
Yeah. Of course, Govinda. So the first thing, and I think that is something that really changed the game for us in past 1 year, is to be able to take any data, any format of data from the customer in CSV and just dump it into our platform. It will suck it in. Yeah. So that's how we start. And then I was talking about all the data issues. So we do a data validation where first the system identifies if there are any issues. And then based on the type of the issues, it sanitizes the data. When all of that is done, then the data is processed and we make it ready for our proprietary algorithms to identify the issues. Yeah. So within those proprietary algorithms, Govinda, three major things are happening. We are detecting if there is any anomaly. If there is anomaly, then we try to classify that anomaly and then quantify the losses because of that. Once that happens, actually, here we see one arrow, but two things happen in parallel. One, our software, it gets updated with all the faults and all the insights. But the software is typically used by our SaaS clients who use it more for operational activities. But then for diagnostics clients, and a report is generated which gets emailed to their email.
Yeah. Okay, this is great. But also, I know that there's a lot of conversation happens during this whole process with the client also. So can you talk about this, like how this client influence this process?
Yeah, so it starts at step zero itself when we take the CSV file. Typically, how we work is we take 1 day of CSV file. We run it through our engine and see if we have all the data and if there are no data quality issues. Does our system understand which data is what? Yeah. And if there are questions, we just need one quick 15-20 minutes call with the customer, and then we start taking more data from the customer. Within the data validation process itself, before we do the data processing, there is a report that goes to the customer. So what happens is within this cycle, Govinda, at each step, customer gets an automated report. Yeah. Once the data is processed, customer gets a report. Okay, this was the truth of your raw data. This is what processing happened, and now this is what your data looks like. Yeah. So that, and then once the algorithms put out the report, right, and the report is generated, our team sits with the customer. So we have very experienced performance engineers. They sit with the customer to make sense of why a particular fault was classified a certain way. Yeah. So I would say transparency is the key here, that throughout the process, customer knows at each step what is happening and how they're getting the results.
No, I like it because I just feel that what we have developed over the years is that customer isn't on the driving seat. It's like customer determine that what's going on with the system here, like how the flow will go, and we are just helping him to understand better. So this is really great. So now is the time to let's quickly jump into action. Like, can you show us that how exactly this whole process happens in real life? So let me just unshare my screen. I let you go.
Yeah, I probably need permission to share.
Yes. Go ahead.
All right. Just let me know when you can see my screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, So I would like to just very quickly walk through the first thing that we were saying, that we can accept any kind of data format. Yeah. So I'll show you a very quick example here. So let's say I want to do a data import, and then just three very simple files. One needs to upload the AC data, the DC data, and if you have the Meteor data, right? So let me put some files. First, knowingly, I'll put a file which does not have good data. Yeah, and let's see what the platform says. Right. Okay.
Yeah, we
So
didn't see that the way you're uploading the file because I think you shared only this screen, but that's fine. I get it. Like you're
that's correct.
picking up from
So
your
there are
system right now. Yeah.
three different CSV files that I just uploaded.
Yeah.
And within the CSV files, within the DC data, AC data, there are some comments, yeah, and our tool helps to exactly pinpoint where the issues are and what are the issues, yeah. So someone can look into that and re-upload. Now, let's say if I go back and just put in the good data, and sorry, my screen is not completely visible, but I'll try to do it quickly. So this is just the first step where the data enters our system, right? So we have checks and balances at that point. Yeah. If your data is not good, you simply cannot upload. If your data is good, you get kind of like a mini report telling you what is inside the data. This is also something that the customer can now validate that, oh yes, I had given data for 5 inverters, whatever 198 MPPTs, and there are 3 radiation sensors and all of that. So customer can now say, yes, they read my data correctly. Good. Yeah, good to go. Once this happens, Govinda, the next step is that the data gets processed and it goes through, the entire fault detection phase. Here, what's important is this diagnostic service. It's like a one-time, health diagnostic. People can dump 1 year, 2 years, 6 months of data. And something that would typically, like in my so-called previous life, when I was doing asset management, depending on the size and complexity of the plant, it will take me few weeks to sometimes more than a month, you know, to to analyze those plans. And that is probably where we can see how technology helps us. What would we say as a topic of this webinar, from 358 to 3 point some hours, the first magic already happened when we were able to just ingest the data very automatically, right? So that saves a lot of time. Now, when we come here, I would like to focus on some of the faults.
Can I
But
ask you one thing? Can I ask you one thing? What you showed us was an MPPT level. So is it like we need to have data at the MPPT level for the system to work very good?
No, Govinda, uh, we can process data and identify faults at any granularity. So for example, if you look here, this says inverter 1, MPPT number 9, and there are then certain faults at inverter level. There are certain faults, those are at combiner box level. So it says inverter 12, MPPT 2nd, and combiner box number 6. Yeah.
Got it. That's good to know that we can take data at every level. Good. Please
Exactly.
go ahead. Sorry, I didn't
So
want to stop you.
yeah, that was just the platform, but let me show you what the report looks like. So it kind of breaks down the losses, all the losses that you have, how much is recoverable, how much is non-recoverable, what are the
I think you
losses.
need to share the report so you can unshare it.
Ah,
We are not able to see. We are still on the same screen.
my
Yeah.
bad. Let me just share my screen.
It's just technology, There's too
Yeah,
much limitation.
I'll just share my screen. I have no secrets to hide. So yeah, this is the report. It kind of breaks down what are the category of losses: non-recoverable, recoverable. Then within the non-recoverable and recoverable sections, it gives a distribution. This is just, you can see and probably already start prioritizing, what you can recover and where the maximum recoverable losses. This is interesting what we were talking about, Govinda. that we do the data processing, we look at if there's any issue in the data, and we tell you what we did with that data issue. Now, this is very interesting. To be able to set the benchmark correctly, we need good weather data. Yeah. So we have our own models that not only identifies if there is any inaccuracy in the weather data, it also puts out certain reasons, why those inaccuracies would exist. This is where the heart and soul of the analysis is. You can see something that would probably take weeks or months. And automation can give you loss breakdown in multiple different categories. Yeah. Something that fascinates me is something like a DC wire damage. Yeah. I kid you not, Govinda, even if I do a thorough site visit, it will be difficult for me to find out that some DC wire is damaged, especially when I'm talking about a big megawatt scale solar farm. Yeah. Then there are certain issues like I can, of course, see soiling, I can see shading, but to quantify them, it's always a challenge. Yeah. So we have, something that would take weeks. Now, within hours, we can have a full spectrum of losses that are happening within the system. Yeah. And then this automated report comes to you very naturally. Yeah. So that's one thing. Other thing, I'll very quickly share in 30 seconds. So on our platform, when we say array tracker issue, then we also put out certain secondary faults that if it is not array tracker issue, check if the data logger was giving bad results. Or if it is module mismatch, if that's not found correct, check for degradation, soiling, or incorrect metadata. We also enable our clients and partners to go in, check the data themselves, and see if the fault classification we did, does it make sense or not? And if it does, they can assign the fault and someone can go fix at the site. When someone goes at the site, they also get an automated recommendation from us. Yeah. So that's more on the operational side, but on the diagnostic side, we give this report where it very quickly gives you a snapshot in a very detailed way of what exactly is happening within your plan.
Thanks, Shankrano. This is really helps, and this also shows that when what I like about this process is that whenever they get the report and all those things, PDFs and reporting, clients have a supporting material on the software that he can go and check why the system said this, and they can also confirm it. And they don't have to sit with us and really explain that, hey, why did you tell this bucket, that bucket, right? They can just go clearly see the curves, understand what's going on. Yeah. Well, this is great. Like, we have 5 minutes left, and I'd love to have more question answers from our users here and attendees. So let me start with, we have one question coming in. Is the soil losses pulled from an external data source or estimated by an algorithm? 30 seconds, Shankraj. I know that you love this one, soiling issue. Go ahead.
It is estimated by the algorithms. We do need certain benchmark, either a good rain event or the last cleaning event, and that sets the benchmark. But yes, no external data source, no dust IQ sensors or anything that's installed.
Ooh, okay. So you're talking about the sensors less power plants. Very good. Good. I have another question. What is the minimum data period required for accurate loss analysis and quantification? So what kind of periods we generally look for?
Yeah. So depending on the issues, yeah, we can analyze a plant without even a day of historical data. But if you have issues like module degradation or inverter efficiency issues, those are very slow process. So to identify those, we need a longer duration, 6 months to 12 months maximum. Yeah. But we have done and produced analysis with just 1 month of data, and customer were able to validate. So yeah, it completely depends on the nature of issues.
Yeah, but I think, like, to capture the seasonality, generally we prefer 12 months of data, which just makes sure that we are not missing out on anything. But I know that even a couple of months is enough for us to create good result here. There's a lot of questions. Let me just check. And I know that a lot of people have already sent us the question here, so that will be good. There's one question here that let me guess, what is the data collection process and what do you need here? So I think what users want to ask, like what data we collect generally and what is the process on that? So I know you talked about CSV, but I know there are more things. So can you quickly just
Yeah, we need the time series data on the DC and the AC side. If you have weather data, great. So these are the basic data. Anything that you add on top of it, maintenance logs or any other dust IQ sensors, any other data that acts like a cherry on the top. And how we collect data, just give us CSV in whatever format you have, as simple as that.
Okay, but also I know that sometimes the clients give us access to the portal and we can automatically collect the data also, that if they have this process in place also. So it's very flexible the way we have built it. Excellent. There's another question here, and that's the very nice one and really tough one. How does the tool distinguish between the DC wire damage, module damage, or any issue with the DC field here? So how do you, okay, how do you know it's DC wire or DC connector or the module?
Right. So if there is a module damage, I'll probably look at a larger chunk of voltage getting dropped, at least minimum to the voltage supplied by one diode in that module. Yeah. And that's going to impact my entire string. With DC module wire damages, typically you see a fluctuating variance in current, in voltage, and that fluctuation is not as big, so that is that. There's a lot of signal processing that also goes behind separating these faults. And I know where the question is coming from. Very valid question. In fact, we have also struggled with that for quite some period. And it was only topping these with Fourier transformations, with signal processing, that now we have become better at bifurcating those issues, because both of them would leave an impact on the voltage. Yeah, some very discrete, some very, very subtle. But then, yeah, I would say that we do the basic is the knowledge of physics that I just explained. But probably what I cannot explain is how the entire signal processing and few other things that works to separate them. Yeah.
Thanks, Shankar. I just want to add here that DC wire damage has been really tough for us because, not tough, it's very important element, because if the DC wire damage is there, there's a leakage current happening, it can create a danger actually.
Yeah.
So that has been like extremely important for us to determine that. It's a tough one, but we try to determine this one. Okay, I have just one question to ask right now, and let me just, okay, guys, so everyone who has asked question, you will get the answers. So thanks a lot asking, but I'm going to take the last one before we go. Okay, how do you have classification of inverter duration? If so, can you show us this analysis? Okay, so we'll send you answer, Nicolas, here, because this will be much more. What additional sites detail do you expect apart from CSV inverter data you fed to algorithm? Just the site metadata. So Durga, Mr. Durga Prasanna, I can write it that. Okay. How do you recognize reso? On example, they were biggest loss. Thank you. So I think on example, the reso was quite big. So how do you identify reso? This will be our last question. So please, Shankar, very quickly, like 10 seconds, go.
Yeah, so it will have a very typical signature. All of a sudden, the current would drop to zero and the voltage would touch VOC. Reso typically we see early in the morning. So it's also closely related with inverter late wake up. So if something is waking up late, then we check the signature, we see the current and voltage, and we are able to tell that.
Thank you, Shankar. Just I'm going to just share the last bit of our slides. So we have, great. So we had our things. Let's do a quick poll time, like how long it takes for you to actually do diagnostics. Please go ahead. Sorry, guys, really had less time. But we'll answer everyone's question here. Please go ahead. How long does it take for you to actually get any answers? Great, 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 great. Very nice. Perfect. So I'm ending the poll at this stage and share results. See, it's a distribution everywhere. Of course, like 30% of the crowd here feels that they can do less than a week. This is great, but we have less than, and then we have other things. Of course, I feel it just also depends on the plant size and complexity, right? So that's important.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.